Hey lovelies, RJ here. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to remind you to give yourself some grace. And this is especially true if you are exploring new ways of being, if you're stepping into things that you haven't done before, you're stretching yourself, you're growing yourself, you're learning new tools and techniques, and you're trying to put them into play in your life and you're stepping into like kind of that next level, right, for what you want for your life. Give yourself grace, because what happens a lot of times is you're going to come up against unexpected resistance. You're going to, there's going to be this moment where you could easily fall back into old habits and old thought patterns. You may or may not, right? And even if you do, like, still give yourself grace and compassion for that. But really allow yourself to have that moment, right? And understand that it's okay. And I'll give you an example. So earlier today, I have a medical bill that is going to be more than it was originally estimated. And then I got a different bill that, like, just wasn't expected at all. Um, So money has been one of the areas where, like, I've been working on and educating myself and putting things into practice and learning to do better and move differently. And it's not something that, like, I grew up with, right? So, like, investing in things like that is not something I grew up doing. And now one of the investments accounts I have is literally there just to have more money and to be able to sell off if I need it to get money available, right? To get cash flow available. And so that's kind of the easiest way for me to handle these medical expenses that I wasn't anticipating on and that are more expensive than what we thought they were going to be. And I had this moment though where I was like really upset about it. And I had to remind myself to, like, go back to being grateful that, like, I have the money for it, right? Like it's not there. It's in places where I don't necessarily want to pull it from, but it is there. Like, I'm taken care of. Why am I freaking out? Calm down. It's okay. Right. And I also had to remind myself that, like, wasn't that the entire point of this particular investment account anyway? And it was, but in my mind, when I was setting it up, I was like, hey, we're going to travel. Going a little differently than expected, but that's okay. But that's why it was there. Like, it's not a retirement account. That's a separate account. Um, like, I've learned the whole, like, let's separate out our accounts and give our money marching orders and give it a job. So that's all separate and everything. And this one was literally like just to have extra, to help create some extra income and then to be able to turn that back into cash should I need it. So it's serving its purpose. And but I still had my moment of, like, oh my gosh, and, like, I didn't want to see that number go down or go away. And I was like, do we just charge it? Um, but I don't really want to do that. And it was really just this fact that this particular account was, like, the first account that I started. So it took a really long time for me to build it to where it is. Not that it's any, like, massive amount. Literally, I have another account that I built. Actually, it's worth more than this account. And I did that in like 6 months. Now, that first account took me years to build, and that's because of where I was financially and learning and being, like, really fearful of putting any type of real amount of money in there, right? So, like, doing like $5 here, $5 there. So it took me years to build this account. And, like, I was having my very human moment of, like, it took me years, and, like, thinking of this money going away was, like, making me sad. But here's the thing, like, I had my moment, and then I had to laugh at myself because I started to realize, like, no, this account is doing exactly what you created it to do. And I was probably considering, like, a month or two ago getting rid of it and just switching over all to one account anyway. Now, in my mind, I thought I was going to be, like, liquidating it and moving it to the other account, but that's okay. That's not what's going to happen, and that's fine. And I've learned the skills to build it back up. Like it's not going to take me the same amount of time that it took the first round to build it to that level. Because I'm not in a different space. I have a different skill set, and I've done it before, right? Like the first time I had no clue what the fuck I was doing, and we were very scared and like little teensy contributions here and there, nothing steady and consistent, right? And now I've learned to be consistent, and there are certain things that are just automatically happening. I don't think about it anymore. It's not a decision I have to make, it just gets put towards it. So I wanted to share that because even as we grow and move into next level and start moving differently, you're still going to have those moments where that frame of reference that you used to have kind of kicks in and flares up and like tries to take over. That's okay. It's gonna happen. Like, take a moment, pause, observe what's happening. And if you can move into that more neutral state of like observing, you'll probably get to a point where you're gonna laugh at yourself, to be very honest. You're gonna be like, okay, but hi, me from like 5 years ago. I understand this was your life for a very long time. It's not now. We are okay, and then be able to move forward with it. So give yourself some grace as you are trying new things, as you're implementing new strategies for your life, as you're being more intentional about your life, as you're setting yourself up and learning to move differently than maybe you've moved your entire life, right? Um, the way of being you've had in place has been there that you're trying to change, like the more of these moments you're potentially going to have. And for some reason we think like, oh, I'm changing, um that it's going to be this instantaneous immediate thing. And to some extent, yes, like the behaviors can be, but you gotta kind of give yourself a little time to fully shift all of what's there, right? Like the surface level we can change very quickly. It's the rest of us that we gotta like let come along and let get integrated and let the pieces come up that are still sticking out and trying to hang out back here. And like hear them out, honor them, thank them, and then like move them into the forward position that we're going. So hope you guys have a great night. Take care.